Tim Ebner joins us on the line right now. Coach, thank you for coming on. So I guess let me start here. When did you decide to make the decision and what prompted it?
Well, we had been kind of mulling that over for the last few years as a staff. We had been there, as you had mentioned, we've been there quite a long time, and the staff has been pretty consistent as far as the mainstays on the staff in Dean Lonsborough, in Todd Weisner. One of our former players, Jerry Rank, has been with us a long time over the years, kind of off and on. So we've kind of had a consistent staff, and you kind of get to the point where you're looking at things in life, and it's a 12 months a year job the way we've approached it, and we're always looking at hockey. We're always trying to find ways to get better, trying to give the players the best opportunity to improve in the off season. And when you put all that time in and you start looking at it, and you've got some other priorities, and Coach Lonsborough, Dino's got he's got a young daughter yet. Coach Weisner got grandkids, and they're kind of one son that's running a hockey thing up in Duluth area. So we're kind of all over the place. So you kind of look to say, at what point have you really put everything you have into the program, and when's it time to step aside and maybe let somebody else try to put what they have into the program?
When did the discussions, like the serious discussions, start on maybe, guys, it's time to go?
Well, it's kind of been to that point the last couple off seasons. You start to look at it and you say, okay, when is the right time to do it? There's really no right time, because every senior class has been exceptional for us. You build relationships over years with every senior class. There was always going to be that next senior class. Well, why don't you let this senior class get through? And next year's senior class is a tremendous group of young men, both hockey players and as well as people. So that made it a little bit more difficult when that decision came this year. But we just felt that it was the right time to kind of do that and move aside and give somebody else an opportunity.
So, Tim, take me through the process when you guys decided for sure we're going to move on. You kind of did it somewhat as a staff, and I'll let you dive into those details a little bit. But real specifically, when exactly did you decide, and what specifically was that conversation like? Was there kind of, all right, this is what we want to do. How are we going to unveil this? How are we going to tell, the kids, the coaches, the media eventually? What was that conversation like?
Well, it was a tough conversation because, like I said, we've put our heart and soul into this program over the years. So, it came down to that final point where we kind of made the decision a little while back, but felt that I needed to get through my spring hockey stuff that I had going on with Team Wisconsin, with the NIT team, and all those kinds of things. So we kind of felt we kind of knew where it was headed, but you never know. We've been down this path before and said, heck no, we're just not ready to give it up at the last minute. And this year we just kind of went through it and felt that it was the right time.
So do you vote on it? Did you just say, guys, I'm going to make the call on it? How does that happen?
Well, no, a lot of it, I'll be honest, a lot of it came down to me. And with me being the head coach, and I handle all the off-ice stuff, I handle all of the out-of-season stuff, I schedule games, I schedule officials, all those other representation parts of the program. I think we just felt that to go as well.
We're talking with Tim Ebner, the recently retired hockey coach for Onalaska Hockey. That sounds a little bit funny to say. Tim, it's interesting because we, and I say we meaning society and sports fans, we like sure things. Like, we don't mind when a mediocre coach leaves or when a bad team comes along and the players get traded or leave or whatever. But there's something about excellence and just kind of counting on it year after year after year. And I think your program has epitomized what I just described. Was there any discussion, or I guess I'll ask you personally, was there part of you that felt guilty, like, people count on us in this community now? It's such a normal thing. I mean, it's easy for us to count on it because we're not doing the work like you guys are, but was there a part of you that felt like we're going to let a lot of people down if, as a staff, we decide we're not going to continue?
Well, that was absolutely a part of the discussion, and that's been the part of the discussion the last few years. And it's just, you don't want to let people down. We've been here, like I said, we've been here a while, and it's just a matter of we want to make sure the program's in good position when we did step down. and we also want to make sure we'd like to make sure it continues in some way, and trying to get the person in with the right passion for the game, and that's it's hard to do. It's hard to do right now in any program, let alone ours. And it's a matter of finding that right person that has the time, energy, and effort to put into it.
So will you be part of that process then to get the next coach?
Well, I don't know from the school standpoint. We've talked a little bit about it. We've talked about me trying to help find somebody, because once again, it's not easy to do. But what I've told the school and the players is we're here for them yet, no matter if we're not in the day-to-day stuff at all. If they have questions, or whoever takes over the program wants some questions from us as far as the history of the program, I have all of that. I've got all the information for them. So try to pass on that knowledge, and then kind of step out of the way and let them run the program the way they see fit.
Do you have any ideas, any names that guys who you think would be good as a replacement?
Well, there's some guys in the area, some younger guys in the area, but it's hard with work. I mean, people have to earn a living, and that's part of the reason I'm that way as well. Is over the 15 years I've been head coach, it's hard. We practice at 4:00 in the afternoon. We bounced it back last year with us co-oping with lacrosse to as late as we could, which was 4:00. Well, it's hard to even get assistant coaches there at those times. So we've been fortunate over the years that with what I had been doing, or what I have been doing, is able to be there at the rink early enough to make sure we were all set up to go. The next situation may not be as easy to find somebody, or the Omni Center and the district and everybody are going to have to work together to find times that are going to fit for the new staff, and that's not always easy to do.
We're talking with Tim Ebner, the now former head coach for Onalaska hockey, decided to step down officially this weekend. Tim, this part is uncomfortable because I know the coaches fraternity, and I'm not asking you to say anything negative about other coaches, but you brought something up before about how this is really a 12-month job where you put your heart and soul into this thing. I know your reputation well. I think people closely connected to high school hockey do as well. I'm a believer, and I think this goes for almost anything in life, that you can say, well, there's excuses, I got to work, I got to do this, I have kids, and nobody understands that more than I do, and I think you get that as well. But you can always find a way if you want to attack excellence, and I feel like you've done that for 15 years now. Do you believe, and again, I know this is an uncomfortable thing to talk about or respond to, when I look at the success your program has had, you haven't necessarily had any more advantages than the many other programs in this area, some of which don't even exist anymore, or they've had a co-op with numerous schools just to survive. Does it really come down to, and I'm kind of going back in the last 15 years now, who wants it more? Who wants to work hard? Who wants to really, really dig in like you've done for 15 years? Do you believe that's the biggest reason your program has had the success it's had for the last almost 2 decades?
Well, I think it goes back to when I was initially hired as the head coach. We made the conscious decision at that point, and us, meaning the staff, along with the district, that we needed to bring the program together so that we were all on the same page, meaning the players, the parents, the school, the high school itself, and the district. And we needed to include the parents in as much stuff as we could. It hasn't always worked out that way. Not every parent likes you. We had to make cuts over the years. Those first 10, 12 years, we made a lot of cuts. And those aren't easy things to do, to have to call a young man in and tell him that he's not going to be a part of the program. That was very difficult to do. But I think we've tried to work closely with the parents. One of the things that the parents always do in most programs is they always ask the coach, what can we do to get better? What can my son do to get better, to play more, to get better as an athlete? And I think years ago we embraced that concept, and we put together a summer program that is second to none in the state. I mean, we do as much as we possibly can and give them as much opportunity to do it. We don't require them to do it, of course, which you can't do, but we present the opportunity there. And when you get the parents to buy into the opportunity, they're the ones asking usually. They help get the kids to buy into it, and that's been a big part of our program. The other part of the program is it is truly our program. I have never said and never will say it's my program. A lot of coaches like to say it's my program. It's not my program. It was never my program. It was our program. It was the coaches, the players, the parents, the youth hockey program, because they're the ones who get the kids into hockey initially. And then what we've been able to do is foster a love for the game. Our program, I would say the majority of the kids that come through our program love hockey. I can go back numerous times where, and the one story I always tell is with a young man like Jordan Guth. Jordan Guth signed a Division I baseball scholarship, went on to play professional baseball, ended up finishing playing Division III college hockey. Jordan Guth never missed anything we had from a hockey standpoint.
Wow.
Although he was
impressive.
A great baseball player, never missed it. Never missed one opportunity to get better at hockey as well. And that attitude and that love for the game, which is what the majority of our players have had over the year. And when you have that, it becomes a lot easier to coach.
You know, that's a really good example. Tim Ebner joining us of kind of a shining moment for the program. I won't say for you necessarily, because I know you want to give credit to the whole program. That's a really good example, you know, because we hear stories where it often goes the other way. There's a talented kid, but he's got another sport he's even better at and just kind of ignores the number 2 or number 3 sport. When I look at some of the numbers, Tim, you guys played 197 conference games during your time. You lost 30. Overall, you won almost 300 games. You lost only 81. 4 times you were a state qualifier. It's an impossible question to answer, I know, but I guess however you want to answer it, is there a moment or two, or even if you want to make it 3, something like that, that really stick out to you in terms of accomplishments, maybe a team here or there, maybe, I don't know what it would be, but when you think of, you know, after 15 plus years, what sticks out to you as your best accomplishment or 2?
Well, you know, it's been the state tournaments that we've been to. I mean, you look back at that very first year. I mean, making a sectional final in that very first, and really taking Wisconsin Rapids, who was phenomenal back at that time. I mean, we played extremely well. We were right in the game, had opportunities. So really, from that very first year, it's been we've had some really good things happen as far as you know, state qualifying, as far as that runner-up team. We've had numerous Player of the Year finalists. We haven't had a Player of the Year winner, but we've had numerous Player of the Year finalists. So those have all been really good things. I think when you look at this year, I mean, we've been really close in past years, but we won. We were the top team academically in the state of Wisconsin. We had a 3.8 team GPA. So we were actually a state champion as far as academics was concerned, which is a big thing of what we try to do too, which tells you the quality of kids we had.
Tim Ebner joining us, Onalaska hockey coach for almost 2 decades, deciding to step down. Tim, your program, I think, at least statistically, has been the best on our side of the state, or this section of the state, for a long, long time now. Do you believe, and this, I don't want to put you in a position, you know, where you're bragging again, but do you believe that your program enhanced hockey generally in this region, where teams, of course, if you got a really good program, people are trying to keep up? Over the years, did you see some of that around the area where certain programs, certain kids, maybe the entire area got better because of some of the work that you guys did in the early years?
Well, we'd like to think that. You never really know, but we'd like to think that we've enhanced hockey in the area, and hopefully we've gained respect across the state, which helps our area. If we can help our area gain respect across the state, that's even a better situation. Over the last few years, we really could have scheduled anybody in the state of Wisconsin right now. We've had calls from all of the top teams, or not all of them, but a majority of the top teams in the state that wanted to play us. So that alone kind of speaks for itself. You know, once again, you go back to the culture of that program. I've been so fortunate to work for some of the top people in athletics. You know, Hall of Fame guys like Roger Herring and Barry Alvarez and Jeff Sauer, and worked with Mark Johnson. I mean, there's probably 4 or 5 different guys that are Hall of Famers in their sports that they played for that I've been fortunate enough to work with and learn from. And
what's the
that's
best,
a big
Tim,
part of it as well.
If I could jump in, what's the best thing you got from maybe one of those guys that you can think of?
Well, there really isn't. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that I've got from each guy, and you were able to take certain things away from each one of them. I mean, in Barry Alvarez is just, his organization and his organizational style, and just the demanding part of what he put in place. A lot of what we do comes from football. A lot of the way we structure practices comes from my football background, such as individual time, team time, individual portion, individual as far as defensive zone stuff, and things that we do is a lot structured off of the football end of it through what I've got from Barry and Roger and Jeff Sauer, and just allowing the guys to be the guys, allowing, not being so structured all the time, not having all these huge set of team rules in place that you're trying ultimately to control everything. It's just kind of been put a few things in place and go with it. And I think the main portion which has helped us, as I got from Coach Sauer, is just, it's more than hockey. What we do in our program is more than just hockey. It's the experience. It's what we try to provide. It's how we treat the kids. I know there's programs in the area that have kind of made fun of us over the years of the way we do things and how we travel and what we provide for the kids on a day-to-day basis.
Wait a minute. How do they make fun of you for those things? Like, what's an
Well,
example
it's
of
just that we travel in a coach. We travel in a coach bus, no matter a lot of places that we've went over the years. We've provided the kids with meals. We don't pay for it, but we have a structure in place on how we pay for all those things. We have snacks in the locker room between periods, so if they are hungry, if they need an energy boost along the way, there's things that they can eat during the game. We've treated it and ran it like a college athletic program, and the administration has allowed us to do that, and I think that has made a major impact on the kids as well, understanding why it's important to them. We make it first class. We want to try to run a first class program, and in turn, the kids want to put the time, energy, and effort in to do whatever they can. We also have the alumni wall outside of our locker room that since Onalaska's went to WIA hockey or varsity hockey, all those names are on the wall. And there's been numerous years where I can walk out in the hallway and look at our players staring at that wall, waiting to put their name up on it and what their record was.
It's culture. It's building a culture, right? That's what you've done for a really long time now. That's kind of what it is. Tim Ebner joining us, Onalaska hockey coach for almost 2 decades. Again, the numbers are staggering. 4 times a state qualifier. I mentioned before they have lost in conference 30 games out of almost 200. Just really the program in this area. Tim, before I let you go, what's next? I know you run a business and you spend a lot of time on it. You've got a family and a lot going on there. But what fills this void for you moving forward? I'm sure you've thought about that. What's kind of been bopping around in your head as far as what might fill the void?
It's hard to say right now. I mean, the main thing for me is just kind of relax a little bit through the summer, not having the summer stuff to really have to do a whole lot with this year. Kind of get a little bit of golf in, try to get better at that, and just see where it leads. I know there's people that have already kind of told me in the past that they would be contacting me if this ever happened. As you know, I coached college football for many, many years as well. I don't ever rule anything out. It's just a matter of the next little bit. I want to be able to go and have some flexibility during those winter months to watch my son play college hockey, which there's only 3 years left.
Could you see yourself recharging your batteries in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, running another high school program or even at the college level?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. That's one of the reasons I'm not really retired. I'm just kind of stepping aside right now to let things kind of play itself out a little bit and see. Eventually, there will be opportunities. I know that. It's just a matter of will I be ready for the opportunities that may be there down the road, in that kind of thing. So, as we told all the players the other night when we met with them, is just that, we're still here for them if they ever need us for anything or anything like that. They know they can call us, just as it has been in the past. Every year you get a lot of alumni calling up, hey, can I use you as a reference? Can you write me a letter, do something like that? We're here for those guys for forever. We've had a great alumni association at Onalaska. We've had an alumni game every year that's drawn in 60, 70, 80 alum for the weekend. any of our alum in the past have always known we've always welcomed them in as far as allowing them to skate. They could come to any practice anytime they wanted at any part of the season and skate with us. So it always was nice to have those former players and even guys that I didn't coach but I knew back in the day come back and skate with us. And I think that was another big part of our program.
Well, Tim, congratulations on a remarkable stretch. I mean, I have these numbers in front of me, and I keep kind of glancing at them as we talk, and it's pretty amazing what you've done in an area where hockey has not been real strong. You've done it year in, year out. You talked about some of the peripheral things with academics and other things that you've been able to build over there. Enjoy some time, I guess. Enjoy some time. Don't be a stranger here. We'd love to talk to you. Maybe you can be a hockey analyst for us once or twice a year. You can come on and break down games for us or something. As now you can be objective and do that if you want.
Anytime you want. I'm going to still be out and about. I'll be watching a lot of hockey. I'm still planning. I'll still be working with the Team Wisconsin program in the spring. So I'll be out watching an awful lot of hockey across the state to start looking at players, which I haven't been able to do in the past. So I'll get a real good opportunity to continue to see high school hockey in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, Tim, thank you for sharing some stories, and really appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thanks, John, for everything you've done on hockey, too, and the coverages that you guys have provided us over the years. Greatly appreciated.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Tim.
Yep, thanks, Jeff.